Hi there, everyone. Good evening. So, as usual, back with a story again from our old historical tales and fables. So, this is a story about a king, a smart, proactive king. So, this king decided to, check on how his subjects would respond or react to certain situations. So he decided to place a small a test or a challenge, so to speak, for his subjects. Now, there was a road leading from the capital city towards the marketplace, and from there out of the kingdom. This was a very busy road used by mostly all the people in the capital. So what he did was he had a large boulder placed on that road, not entirely blocking it. There was a room for people to just go around it, but visible there as an obstacle. Having placed it there, he took his place in the trees beside the road. Was hiding in plain clothes, disguised, out of sight anyway. And he watched to see how his subjects would react. So many people came that way, some on foot, some on horseback, some on bullock carts, some on small wagons drawn by horses. They just went around the obstacle. Nobody bothered to touch it or attempt to move it out of the way. In fact, some of them were complaining. What is this? A boulder on the road? The administration is gone. There's no good. The king is not able to have any control over his administration. This is not good at all. How can we manage if things go out of hand like this? And this kind of complaints were coming up from some people. Some others just ignored the obstacle. They just walked around it or rode around it and carried on their way. After a while, a farmer came that way. He had a long bamboo pole on his shoulders, and on either end he had sacks of produce which he was carrying to the market. So he saw this boulder on the road, and he carefully placed his burden on the opposite side of the road so as not to obstruct anybody, and proceeded to push this boulder away. It was a big boulder, quite heavy, and initially it didn't budge. So he used his brains. He went up, brought a smaller stone, lifted this boulder up slightly and pushed that stone beneath one edge. Having got the leverage and the slight change in gravity, he finally managed to push that boulder off the road. Then he removed that stone as well, moved it aside, and suddenly he spotted a small purse lying on the road beneath where this boulder had been. He picked it up, opened it, and he found it was full of gold coins. He looked around, made sure that this was really happening, pinched himself. Okay, so he's got a treasure from underneath the boulder. Inside it, he also found a note from the king, and it said, this is to appreciate your efforts to be proactive and to challenge your obstacles head on. God bless you. That was all it said. But it had the seal of the king. So the farmer was super happy. He suddenly got a whole big fortune, and he tied this up on his waist, picked up his load, and proceeded to the market, singing the praises of the king. So now, what's the message for us today? See, all these stories of yesteryear, they had some stories to tell us. Now, in those days, you could say, you do good and good comes back to you, or you get rewarded. So this was a reward for him. In the present day scenario, if we look at it from a business point of view, we can say that facing your obstacles and overcoming your obstacles may lead to hidden and priceless opportunities, which we would never come across if we were to try and circumvent those obstacles. See, obstacles in business can come in many ways. It can come through a loss in business. It can come through the whole business failing. It can come through a particular product which you have been selling going suddenly out of popularity and having to stay in stock, and you may lose money. It can come through loss of trust by somebody in your organization who cheats you or cheats the customer, and the customer loses trust in you. It can come in so many forms, so many different things. It can come in the form of a new change in taxation laws which you are not prepared for. I mean, obstacles are a dime a dozen in business. The main thing which we should focus on is not to allow those obstacles to be the sole focus of our thoughts. We have to find a way to solve the problem which that obstacle creates, rather than say, oh my God, this is too big a problem for me to solve. Let me just avoid it. Many of us are guilty of this, of trying to avoid finding a solution. And in doing so, we don't realize that we may be missing out on some huge opportunities. Because it is when we face a problem and find a solution to that problem that we achieve our biggest growth. If you look at any business owner in the world, invariably they will tell you that their growth started when they solved a particularly difficult problem which had been bogging them down. So let's all focus on finding a solution to whatever obstacles and problems come our way, rather than trying to avoid the issue and looking the other way and ignoring this. Ignoring the problem is not going to make it go away. It's going to remain there. We have to find a solution, and that is when we can make the problem actually go away. So let's start doing that, and let's start uncovering those hidden treasures in the form of opportunities that will be visible once we remove those obstacles which lie in our path. So this was a short story and the message it brought to me, which I wanted to share with you. Hope you like it. If you like it, do like this video, and do feel free to share it. You never know, sometimes these small messages which I'm just putting out here may help somebody in your contact list. Those are the unknown and unseen things that happen by doing these kind of things. Anyway, that's it for now. So until next time, stay home, stay safe, get vaccinated, and above all, keep smiling. See you.